pharmacist motherfucker.
What a performance! What a victory!
It's finally here. Formula One in 2024.
The wait is over in Bahrain, and we are just hearing that the starting grid is on the look for a new driver. Who will it be?
I'm having trouble trying to sleep. I'm counting shit.
And radio is good.
Here we go.
The Grand Prix is underway.
What a dramatic start. Can you believe it?
Things feel like they're gonna bleed.
Yes!
Spun out of my
Oh, he's lost it.
Pop out, guys. That's it.
The pit lane's going to be alive now. They're all in.
on my own. Here we go. Mind set on an overdrive. On my own. Here we go.
It's not every day that we get to see such incredible wheel-to-wheel racing.
Out of the final corner. And here's our winner today.
Can you beat me?
Yes! What a race. Thank you very much for that. Thank you to the fans.
Welcome in, everybody, to round 6 of Prowler Racing League for F1 24 Season 5. Round 6, we are in Qatar tonight, under the lights in the desert for 29 laps around these 16 corners. 3.343 miles long, one DRS zone along the main straight. Slight elevation change, but not a whole lot. Should be interesting to see how drivers handle the very fast, high-speed corners of the track. Right now, we're waiting for a few drivers to head in to the lobby. So while we're waiting to get going, let's take a look at what our team standings are. Team standings: Mercedes out in front, 193 to Red Bull 152. Aston Martin bringing third at 145. Racing Bulls moving up with 81 to P4. Then we got the Haas dropping down 72 points at P5. Alpine moving up 2 spots with 51 points. McLaren 47. Williams moving up with 46, dropping Sauber down 3 places with 44 points. With Ferrari, the final team, with 22 points on the season. Those points brought to you by our drivers. Our current leader, Zoluxi, last season's champion, sitting at 128. With Vanilla, her rival, sitting at 121. It is a close race. And we're just starting the second half of Season 5. followed up. We got BRT Yuki, Oscar Lidas. Neither one of the Aston Martins are here tonight. Then we got Sasuke, the other Mercedes P5. Rasha in the Racing Bull P6. Dynamic dropping down to P7. Bug Life not here tonight. Currently P8 with Truth in P9 in the McLaren. With Corey P10. And that is your top 10. You can see everyone else there. 13th, 15th, 17th, 19th, and 20th are all reserve drivers. So, as we're sitting here, we're waiting. Yep, I believe we're just waiting on one more driver to join the session. We decided to give a few extra minutes. As you can see, our lobby very light tonight. We went from having one of our fullest sessions we've had in a long time down to only a smattering of drivers tonight. And unfortunately, one of our drivers, Draco, receiving a race ban for too many penalty points on the season. He's here to serve that penalty, but he will not be racing with us tonight. Unfortunately, tough break for him, as he would have scored points regardless, because it is Oprah points tonight, top 12 score, and we have that many drivers here tonight. So, take a look at Discord. We got one more minute waiting for Dynamic is in, so we have everyone. We'll get the last final messages from our lobby boss tonight, letting the group know we should be ready to rock and roll momentarily. Let's turn the music down a little bit so we don't overpower when we get onto the actual track. Still jam out to those funk. And there's the signal ready up to the drivers. So let's head down to the track. Let's get ready for qualifying. Let's get rid of these in-game graphics, if we can. Wait a little bit. Wait for the game to catch up. Surprising with as least amount of drivers we have. Although EA servers are a little bit tricky at times. They want to cooperate. Sometimes they don't. So we'll see. And hopefully my internet connection stays good tonight so we can keep the whole race in our view here. Hey, track map is up. Draco retired from the session as he's instructed to do. So we have, all of our drivers have the correct data displayed. So now we will wait for the first car to make their outlap. We got 2 Haas's, 2 Mercedes, 1 V-Car, 1 McLaren, 2 Red Bulls. And the first car out is going to be Zaluxi in the Mercedes. So we'll let Zaluxi give us a little tour of the track as she makes her way around down to turn 1. The right-hander is the quick switchback. Now, a lot of people get the tracks of Qatar and Bahrain confused sometimes. Very kind of similar layout-ish. A lot of times the turn 1 through 3 complex can get people a little bit confused, but that's okay. So our first car is going. Out onto the track, we've got 3 cars out. Hayden, Truth, and Zaluxi. Zaluxi is the first car out, so we're going to stay with her. And she will set our benchmark time when she heads out for a timed lap. We'll actually, instead of doing telemetry like we normally would with Zaluxi, we're actually going to do just normal lap timing for Zaluxi. See how she does through the 3 sectors of Qatar. Around the final corner, Zaluxy opening DRS, sticking very close to track limits there. That is the most common way I've seen a lot of drivers tackle this track. Heading up through turn 2, around turn 3. Heavy footed down to 4 and 5 is a double left-hander. Be very interesting to see the telemetry from our drivers on this lap, because some of these quick corners, you don't really suspect them to, but they do not lift a lot of times. Oh, we got a spun out car up ahead of Zaluxy. Hopefully they'll get out of the way. Track is clear. A little bit of lock up there for Zaluxy. Fastest first sector of 29.898. Again, fastest middle sector. Granted, she is setting the first timed lap. Got Corey up ahead. Does have wing damage from that spin. See if he gets out of the way, or she's going to use him as a tow. Round final corner 16. Corey dives into the pits, get that wing fixed. Zaluxy cross the line. A 1:28.08 to set us off for the first timed lap. Next up, we've got Hayden. A little bit of traffic ahead of him. It is his teammate, but he's going to get a little bit of a tow, hopefully. Cross line, Hayden with a 1:22.504. Next car is going to be Truth, who invalidated, so this lap will not count for Truth. Looks like he was coming back around, not recharging the battery, so I don't think he's going to go for another lap. Yep, he's going to come into the pits. Try again. Yes, JC. Battery deploying. Coming around through the final sector. Cross line, P3 for Yes JC, 1:22.256. Rasha, P2, 1.2 off of Zaluxy. Next car is setting a timed lap is going to be Sasuke on the mediums. Personal best through the sectors as he hasn't set a time yet. Let's see as he comes across the line. Sasuke, P2 on the mediums, 1:22.082. Chances are he's going to pit again to put on a set of softs to try to take care of Zaluxy. Vanilla setting his first time lap. He's got a Ferrari behind him. Yes, JC is not on a flying lap now, so he shouldn't be a problem for Vanilla. Vanilla focusing directly ahead. Sets a 32.74 in the first sector, 27.144 in the middle sector. Slightly off of Zaluxy's sector times. Around the final corner. Puts the power down. Opens DRS. Cross the line. 1:21.854. Less than... So Zaluxy out in front, 1:20.808. Vanilla P2. Next car across the line is going to be Dynamic. Using all of his battery. Not sure if he's going to be coming in this lap or not. Doesn't look like he's pushing yet, but he's coming to the pits. So Corey getting that wing fixed. Coming out onto track. Corey cross the line, setting his time up to P3, 121.995. Putting us at a Red Bull 2-3 behind Zalexi. So it looks like currently Rasha is on an outlap, making sure his tires are all set. Rasha's outlap. Let's actually head down to Truth. Truth hasn't set a time yet. Let's see what he's going to set for us. $31.052 for first sector, $27.551 in the middle sector. It is improving. Truth up to P8 with a 1:23.064. So right now, we'll go back up to Rasha now. He's on his timed lap. A 30.317 in the first sector. Roughly 5 thousandths off of Zalexi's time. Currently sitting 1.2 off of Zalexi's total time. So let's see if he can continue to improve. He's at 27.204 in the middle sector. Around the final corner, Rasha putting the hammer down. DRS opens up, across the line. P2, the 1:21.721. That time will set Rasha just under a second outside of Zalexi's time. Zalexi still in the pits. Not sure if she's going to come out and set another time to really secure her position, but she's sitting really good right now, time-wise. So we got Sasuke, Hayden, and Truth all invalidating on their laps currently, so they're just making their way around like bats out of hell. Get back to the pits. Vanilla is on an outlap. So let's actually currently just finished the first sector, so he's got a little bit of time to get back around. See if anybody else is setting time right now. Dynamic actually is. Let's head to Dynamic. Across the line, he goes up to P8, 1:22.586 for Dynamic in the Haas. Vanilla coming into the third sector now. We're actually going to switch to telemetry to watch how he handles going around this circuit. Really interested to see how these double apex corners, almost triple for some of them, like in the start of the third sector, you can see the way that those corners are, you can actually attack them quite well, not lifting at all. So down the straight, cross the line, starts his timed lap. Full throttle all the way down, quick jab on the brakes and slight getting back onto the accelerator. Invalidates commentator curse onto turn number 1. Vanilla invalidates that lap. Let's head on down to Sasuke, setting personal best in first and second sector. Coming around to the final corner. This will improve his time. And across the line for Sasuke, P2, 1:21.645. Zalexi still out in front by 0.8 of a second so far. She might not even come back out. We will see. So let's see here. Corey is on time lap. Personal best in the first sector so far. 30.342 in the first sector. About 0.5 off of Zalexi's first sector time. Eight tenths to Zalexi. So right now, if he were to finish the lap right now, he would be P2. So let's see what he can do on this final sector. This should put him top 4 at least. P4 for Corey, 121.761. 4 minutes left in the session. Zalexi in the pits, sitting at 128.08, your fastest time so far. Sasuke making his way around back into the pits. So the only 3 cars out on track right now is the Ferrari of Yes JC on an outlap. Hayden currently personal best in the first sector. Heavy lockup there into turn 10. Coming out to finish middle sector 0.7 off of Zalexi's time so far. Quick left-hander of 15 keeps it within track limits, going down to turn 16. This is going to move Hayden up quite a few positions through the DRS across the line. P6 for Hayden, 121.889. So you lost a little bit of time there in the third sector. So let's take a look here. So the only 2 cars out on track currently, Hayden and Yes JC, just both finished their timed laps. So we'll keep an eye on. We got 2 minutes 40 seconds left in the session. Not sure if everyone's just going to sit tight. Hayden cutting across the sand of the desert. Making his way back to the pits. Ooh, getting a little bit of Duke's Hazard there. Trying to get back to the pits to get switched over to a new set of tires to finish out the qualifying session. We got Rasha back onto the track. Zalexi's back out onto the track as well. And Sasuke. Yes, JC moves up to P2 with that last lap. The 121.523, we missed that. He wasn't improving on his time. So it was a surprise to see him jump up there to P2. The Ferrari desperately looking to score some points as the Ferrari team is sitting in P10 currently in the championship. So it looks like Rasha here is going to be the first one across the line. Then we got Zalexi up next. But we're going to go with Zalexi. Hopefully not commentary curse her. Her last lap. 1 minute left to go in the session. Let's see what drivers can make their way around. Zalexi invalidating on the outlap, but I think she's far enough away from the start-finish line where that will not invalidate her next lap. She has to make this final corner clean. Let's power down. DRS wide open. Invalidates. Zalux invalidated by going too far off the track there. So that's going to leave it wide open now for Sasuke or Rasha. So Sasuke a 30.049 in that first sector. Rasha with a 30.102. Sasuke making his way through turn 11. Fastest middle sector. Only a 10th off of Zaluxi's time currently. Let's see if he can make that time up coming across. Down to the final corner. Rasha up the P2 of the 121.285. The second Mercedes of Sasuke coming around the final corner onto the straightaway. DRS open. Can't do it. Lost time in the final sector. 121.306 puts him P3. Got Corey coming through the final corner. Personal best in the first two sectors. Can't improve position. Does improve his time, but can't improve position. And that is everybody. So your pole setter, Zaluxi, he won with a 120.808. There we go. Let's pass the sector thing there. So Zaluxi, your pole setter. Let's get a screenshot of that real quick. 128.08, followed by Rasha, Sasuke, Yes JC, Corey, Vanilla, Hayden, Dynamic Truth, and Draco, who couldn't qualify tonight and he can't race, but he is here serving his penalty. So let's head over to the intermission screen real quick while we wait. While we wait, let's give you a reminder of the team standings real quick while we do a little bit of housekeeping. Oh, looks like it sorted itself out. Okay, so looks like our lobby boss has set the go time at half past the hour. So drivers have 2 minutes to get their pit strategy set, their tire strategy set. Now, Qatar is one of those tracks that doesn't really wear the tires that much from what I remember. So not a lot of degradation. Drivers will go pretty long for their stints. So we're kind of expecting maybe a lot of drivers probably start on the mediums. I don't suspect a lot of drivers to start on the hards. Mind you, we only have 9 running members tonight of our 20-member full-time driver league. And again, this is Prowler Racing League Season 5, race number 6 of 10 at Qatar. Very close championship battle between Zaluxi and Vanilla, as it was last season. We appreciate every viewer that comes into our channels tonight. 1 more minute left to go, so let's head down to the track and get ready for the start of this race. As we are in the desert, more than likely the weather will be fine, but we'll check the weather once we get started. I don't think we can check it now. Because we're not in the actual lobby. Yeah, I think that's right. But we'll check it. All right. And we're now half past the hour. Everyone should have their tire strategy set. They had about 3-4 minutes to get that set. So we'll keep an eye here on the screen. It is clear. We kind of suspected it to be a clear race. Honestly, I don't think I've experienced a wet race in any of the deserts so far. But let's head on down to the track. We hear the beeping going. So Luxie gonna be leading us away. 5 lights. Lights are out. Zaluxi looks like gets a great start. Heading down to turn number 1. Rasha tucks in behind. Ooh, very close there in the back. Let's go see what's going on back here. Ooh, spin out with the Haas. It looked like the Red Bull as well. Looks like Dynamic and Corey got into it with each other. Doesn't look like anybody got any damage, but that is a rough start to those drivers in the front, or in the currently in the back. So let's head up to our front. And we thank Draco for serving his penalty tonight. Tough break, as he would have been scoring points. So game is saying medium to hard or medium hard. And it looks like our 2 Haas drivers have elected to start on the softs. And only Sasuke, the second Mercedes, taking the alternate strategy, whereas Deluxe's on the medium. Sasuke is on the hards. Sasuke having to defend against Yes JC with that harder compound is going to make it a little bit more difficult. They are deploying the battery as it come down. Yes JC looking to make the move on the inside. Side by side through turn 1. Ooh, Yes JC getting his elbows out there. Sasuke, unfortunately, with those hard tires, not having the grip there, now under attack by Vanilla. Let's check real quick to see what the tire temperature is. We're only on lap number 2. 29. Everyone's tire temperatures are good, so that shouldn't be the problem, but it's down to the grip level. Those hards are not going to have the grip for the acceleration or the cornering that Sasuke really needs for these opening laps here in Qatar. So far, all 9 of our drivers staying pretty together so far. So far, Corey only 9, almost 8 seconds back behind Zaluxi. But as you can see, we have P2 through 6 all close together. Zaluxi across the line, setting fastest lap 1:24.379, picking up that extra point. Yes, JC making another move, and Sasuke thinking about it too. Tucks him behind while Hayden and Vanilla going side by side. Vanilla keeping ahead of Hayden here. Heavy braking there for Vanilla. This is a very close battle right here with this group. Vanilla having to be very cautious because Sasuke up ahead on those hards. He's taking a little bit cautiously while he's still attacking. But while this is happening, Vanilla is also have to keep in mind that Hayden on the softs is right behind. Zalexi out in front by 3.4 seconds so far. We're keeping an eye on here on Vanilla, seeing what he can do against the hard tires of Sasuke. Ooh, Hayden going wide there. Picks up a warning. We're heading down the straightaway onto lap number 4 of 29. These laps will tick away quite quickly. Rasha making the move there on JC. Sasuke thinking about it as well. It's going to be very common for the back and forth DRS switching of the drivers, because as you come down that main straightaway, that DRS will open up and giving the car behind 12 kilometers an hour faster on the car ahead, leaving them wide open for attack into that first corner. Whereas the rest of this track is pretty much full on out. Ooh! Vanilla getting into the back there a little bit. Sasuke making a move on JC, gets a warning for a corner cut though. JC staying out in front. Vanilla thinks about it, tucks back in. Vanilla with a warning for a corner cut. We have quite a few warnings tonight so far for our drivers. Take a look at what you guys can see on the screen. So far, Zalexi even has a warning for a corner cut. Vanilla with DRS wide open, but Sasuke can defend with his DRS. Neither makes the move down to turn 1. Sasuke does defend it a little bit. But while he's making all these defensive moves and attacking moves on JC, he's just wearing out those hard tires. So Zalexi with 1 warning, Rasha with 1 warning, JC, Sasuke, Vanilla, and Hayden all with 2, and then you got Corey in the E8 with 1. All while these guys are battling it out, trying to jockey for position, Zalexi out front just building her gap, now up to 4.9. Head up to JC as he is on that rear gearbox of Rasha. Desperately wants to make a move. This will be a straight up battle, medium to medium. Coming down to turn 15. We'll see what if JC will go. Oh, we got our first time penalty of the night. Hayden with 3 seconds. See here, JC, if he's going to go make the moves to the inside, he does. DRS wide open, gets past Rasha. Rasha tucks in behind. Sasuke thinking about making a move on Rasha as well, goes to the inside. And through goes Sasuke. Sasuke, P3 now. Rasha getting right on the backside of Sasuke. All while, unfortunately, Vanilla getting stuck towards the back of this little train that we got going on. Not able to do a whole lot. Just watching that gap build to Zalexi out in front. So as it was relayed, the weather forecast is clear. Double check that real quick. It is clear for the entire race. So we're good there. A little bit of circuit information. This is 16 corners. Drivers are on full throttle 68% of the time, hitting a top speed of 196 miles per hour. They're calling for a high downforce track. And the tire wear is medium, which was to be expected. We're coming down to the straightaway. We're on lap number 7. Rasha defending to the inside against Vanilla. Vanilla getting past, using that DRS advantage. Vanilla now up to P4. So let's see here. Let's actually, we got a little bit of time real quick. Let's check to see what the race story is for all of our drivers. Let's go with the head to our leader, who's 6 seconds out in front. Currently, her fastest lap so far is a 1:24.379. Sasuke does set the fastest first sector. So the other Mercedes, his fastest time is 1:25.350. We got JC 1:25.013 was his personal best so far. As we come down the straightaway, it's like Hayden's diving into the pits, getting off those soft tires. Vanilla possibly making a move. Stays tucked in behind JC. His best time so far is a 1:25.343. We got Rasha, who's dropped back quite a bit, 1:25.157. Mind you, out of the top 6, only Sasuke is on the hard tire. And we got Corey in the other Red Bull, 1:25.559 his fastest time. And Dynamic on the softs, who probably will be pitting pretty soon too, because Hayden got off of his. 1:25.859 fastest time. Truth, 1:26.412 so far with his fastest time. And then Hayden coming out of the pits onto the hard tires, looking to finish the race on these. Not sure if he'll go the distance of 1:25.298 for his. Let's head on to what the tire life they're calling for. So 13 to 15 laps on the hard. So Hayden more than likely will have to pit again. We'll keep an eye on Sasuke. He's on lap number 8 for his hard tires. And everyone else on lap 8 of their mediums. JC making the move to the inside, making contact there with Sasuke. We got a pass off. That's Hayden. Hayden off in third sector. Still going. Does have front wing damage, so he's going to be coming to the pits. Vanilla with a 3-second penalty. Tough break for Vanilla. Those 3 seconds are really going to hamper any kind of movement he wants to make in this battle right now between Sasuke and Rasha. As we come down into the start of the third sector, Sasuke and JC battling it out. We're going to see, more than likely, as we head down to turn 16, it's going to be a DRS swap between the two. Let's see if JC defends the inside or sticks to the racing line. Truth with a 3-second time penalty. Last time we were at Qatar, a lot of drivers racked up a lot of time penalties. JC defending to the inside. We got the Haas of Hayden coming out of the pits. Oh, contact made there. Sasuke with wing damage, falling back to P5, making contact with the Haas that was coming out of the pits. You can see the end plate missing there from Sasuke's car. That was just unfortunate because there's not much the Haas could do as he was exiting the pits. Stuck to his line. It's not like he could dive off to the outside as they were coming through. That was on the fast approaching cars to safely get around the Haas. That's just a tough break for Sasuke. Rasha now on JC, and while all that melee was happening, Vanilla is actually up to P2 now. JC also does have a little bit of wing damage from that little kerfuffle down to turn 1. It's only 20% damage for SJC, so more than likely won't be changing that wing out. It is a greenish yellow on the display. Actually, we pull up that confirmation. Should be able to. Yep, there we go. So as you can see, it's like a yellowish green for damage on that wing. He still has the end plate, so he still has decent amount of downforce. Oh. So it looks like we had a disconnect issue for Hayden, which may have partially caused that incident down the turn one. We will see. So let's check out what we got going on here. Just checking some data while the field is getting a little bit spread out. So Zalexi into the pits, switching to the hard tires. That pit stop drops her down to P4, gets out ahead of Truth. Sasuke also pitting, more than likely going to get that wing change out. Let's check real quick. Did he? No, the wing is still damaged. So Sasuke retaining the damaged wing, which it's yellow. So, I mean, it's a gamble. We'll see how it pays off. So our current leader, after 12 laps of this 29-lap race, Vanilla Spilla with 3 seconds leads our race, followed behind by Rasha. So actually, let's do a race story so far. We can see where everyone's at. So Vanilla started 6th, currently leading us away, being hounded by Rasha. Started 2nd, currently in 2nd. Then we got JC coming into the pits, started 4th, is currently 3rd. Let's see where this pit stop will drop him down. Watch the map. We got the Haas. Hayden passing, Zalexi getting past. Pretty quick stop there, 2-2. On the time, switching to the hard tires as expected. Vanilla with another warning. JC comes out of the pits. Started 4th and 5th. Does have a 3-second time penalty he will have to deal with. So as pit stops are going through, we're actually going to go back up. Zalexi started P1, now in 3rd after her pit stop. Does not have a penalty, so we can turn that one off. Then we got Truth. Started 9th up to 4th. On the medium, still has yet to pit, has a 3-second penalty to contend with as well. Then we got JC, we've already covered. Now onto Corey, and this 3-way little battle here. Corey started 5th, down 6th. Then we got Sasuke, who had an unfortunate collision with the Haas. That was coming out of the pits into turn 1. It was a tough break. Sasuke started 3rd, now in 7th. On the mediums, getting past Corey there. He's got all to do to get back up to the front. Zalexi, your new leader, as Vanilla and Rasha head into the pits. We got Corey started 5th in the 7th. Dynamic started 8th and 8th, is breaking even so far. no penalties and no damage. He's going to keep going. He's on the hards after 4 laps, so he might be finishing the race on that. See what the move is here. Looks to the inside on Corey. Corey defending with DRS as well. Heavy braking to turn 1. Dynamic up to P7. Then we got the last Haas of Hayden, but I do believe that is AI, as Hayden had a connection issue and is no longer with us. So, Zalexi, your leader, back out in front. Currently with a 9-second lead to second place Truth, who still has to pit. And then 4.4 seconds back from Truth is Vanilla, who is our can't think of the right word, but basically our second place car right now. So the gap from Zalexi to Truth currently at 13 seconds. Let's see if Truth comes into the pits now. He does not. He continues on. His fronts are at 51%. Ooh, Dynamic with a 3-second time penalty. So as you can see there, the wear for Truth is at 51% on the fronts, 34 on the rears. I wonder if he's going to be pushing to try to get a soft tire finish. We shall see. Here, let's actually go take a look at Rasha hunting down Vanilla. Now, Rasha does not have a 3-second penalty, whereas Vanilla does. So, as it stands, Rasha will inherit the position ahead of him if they finish in the order they are right now with the gaps that they have right now. But we still have quite a few laps left to go. We're on lap 15 of 29 here at Qatar. Your leader, Zalexi, out in front by 13 seconds. Vanilla now on the gearbox of Truth with those very worn mediums. Coming around the final corner, let's see if Truth goes for a pit stop. He does not. He continues on. Sasuke picks up a 3-second penalty. So Truth staying out on track, getting swamped by both Vanilla and Rasha. Rasha, the late break, almost making contact there with Vanilla. So Vanilla P2, 14 seconds behind our leader Zalexi. Vanilla setting the fastest first sector, 31.291. Let's actually take a look at what the fastest sectors are. So Vanilla now steals that first sector from Zalexi. Mind you, Vanilla's tires are 2 laps younger, so he might actually be able to hit Zalexi for the fastest lap and that extra point. Personal best through the second sector. So Zalexi maintains second sector fast time. Zalexi fastest lap, 124.233. I think she heard that Vanilla was speeding up, looking to steal, but that may have protected her a little bit. Let's see here what he can do. Vanilla steals it, 124.011. Our new fastest lap of the race. That first sector did it. Made up so much time in that first sector that he didn't have to beat Zalexi or Sasuke for those second and third sectors to get that fastest lap. So we'll keep an eye on that. Right now, we got a close battle. Let's go back down to Sasuke and Dynamic. Our closest battle so far. Less than half a second. Dynamic trails Sasuke ahead. Dynamic closing in the gap just a little bit, but then it evens out as Sasuke pulls ahead. Truth's tires at 59% on the front. Currently P5. Sasuke moving to catch him up. All while Dynamic just doing his best to try to keep this gap as close as possible. He wants to keep it under a second, so he gets DRS heading down to the main straight. Still within DRS range. Truth comes into the pits. Let's see what he selects. We're predicting he's probably going to try to go softs. Well, he's probably not going to be able to. Yep, he elects to go to the hards. The 2.2 stop is a fast stop. But unfortunately, he's now elected to put on the hard tires to finish out this race. So he will be struggling for a little bit of grip at first as we go through. So, closest gap, Dynamic still hunting down Sasuke. It's down to 0.3 now. We may have commentary cursed him before because that gap grew pretty big, but he still was in DRS range. But let's see what he can do here. This is our closest battle on track right now. Zeluxi out in front by 14.4 seconds. Rasha 1.8 behind Vanilla. Then almost 4 seconds to JC and then another 4 seconds to Sasuke. But right behind Sasuke, here is Dynamic. Closing in. Not close enough. DRS is wide open. He's going to try to close that gap, but he's too far back to make a move. He's just keeping Sasuke within his reach. Mind you, Sasuke is on the mediums. And his fronts are at 32%. So Sasuke is dealing with 32% wear on the front tires, plus his damaged front wing. So hopefully Dynamic can take advantage of that, continue to harass him, hopefully cause Sasuke to make a mistake and take advantage of that. Lock up there for Dynamic. Still within DRS range of Sasuke. 10 laps left to go. Zeluxi already heading down to turn 1 as Vanilla is rounding the final corner. Vanilla actually is now up to 6 seconds of penalties. This is going to be a big detriment to Vanilla. As Rasha does not have any penalties. So right now, if we look here, the gap behind to Rasha is not even 2 seconds, and he has 6 seconds of penalties. So Rasha does have 3 seconds now. Okay, so the gap only needs to be 3 seconds. So Vanilla needs to keep this gap more than 3 seconds. He's at 2.4 now. He needs to build that gap with 9 laps left to go. At 2.5. Gap closing down 2.35. Vanilla's got to put the hammer down, try to build that gap to maintain P2. So as of right now, he will drop down at least to P3. My math serves me right. Should only be P3. So Luxie with 3 seconds. Not that it really matters because she's 14.9 up ahead of Vanilla. So as it stands right now, every driver on the track has a time penalty. Let's start with Selexi. 3 seconds. Vanilla, 6 seconds. Rasha, 3. Yes, JC with 3. Dynamic with 3. Sasuke with 3. Corey with 3. Truth with 3. And Hayden disconnected with 3. But, so as it stands, everyone on the track is racing straight up except for Vanilla. Vanilla with his 6 seconds, the 3 seconds offset. So right now, the gap from Vanilla to Rasha currently at 3.07 seconds. That is enough for Vanilla to maintain P2. Oh, it just drops under 3 seconds now. So this is the key factor we're going to be trying to look at right now, is that Vanilla needs to have at least 3 seconds back to Rasha to maintain P2. Yes, JC gets another 3 seconds. He's up to 6, which will drop him back. It will not. Currently the gap from Yes JC to Sasuke. Actually, yeah, no, because the gap from Yes JC to Sasuke is 6.6. The 3 seconds offset, so 3 seconds back. He will retain P4. But as it stands right now, Vanilla retaining P2 with a 3.3 second lead on P3 of Rasha. We're on lap 22 of 29. Dynamic right on the gearbox of Sasuke. Let's go check that out real quick. He is right there. Ooh, a little bit of a mistake there heading into turn 10. Still that gap, 0.4. Problem is, Sasuke is sitting at a perfectly charged battery, 100%. Dynamic as well, fully charged battery. So neither one of these guys are really deploying their batteries. So Sasuke is using his battery to defend against Dynamic when Dynamic has ERS or DRS as we head down to the straightaway. Let's see what happens here. DRS is wide open for Dynamic. Dynamic goes to the inside. Closes the door on Sasuke up to P5. Dynamic finally goes. So now Dynamic's going to have to defend on those hard tires against Sasuke on the medium, but Sasuke 48% on the fronts of his medium tires. And they are battling it out with DRS and ERS. So ERS through the rest of the lap, DRS on the main straight. Zeluxi pushing her lead all the way out to 16.3 seconds. The gap that we were paying very close attention to before. Vanilla is ahead of Rasha by 3.1 seconds, was barely holding on to P2. Sasuke back ahead of Dynamic here, but Dynamic right on that gearbox, less than a 10th behind, not letting him go. Sasuke deployed half his battery to make that happen. Dynamic sitting at 77% on his battery. So let's see as we go. Sasuke into the pits. That 51% front tire absolutely hindering his ability to defend. Switching to the softs, gets rid of that damaged front wing. It looks like Sasuke is going to be going for that fastest lap here within the closing laps of the Qatar Grand Prix. He will get out in front of Truth, possibly. Truth is coming through right now. So he may have a little bit of problem with Truth ahead while he's trying to get that fastest lap, but we'll keep a close eye on that because this outlap's not going to be anything, but the next lap is going to be the lap he's going to try to get that fastest lap. 5 laps left to go. Zaluxy across the line. 17 seconds back is Vanilla. Coming around the final corner. Unfortunately, that gap, the gap we were worried about, has dropped beneath 3 seconds. Truth up to 9 seconds penalties now. Got to be a little bit careful or you will get a warning from the stewards. Vanilla desperately needs to get this gap up to 3 seconds. It's currently sitting at 2.9. It's so close. Corey's sitting about 6/10 from Dynamic. Both on the hard tires, both with 3 seconds of penalties. That fight might come to blows. It might not. Vanilla now gets that gap to 3.2, 3.3. Four laps left to go. Zaluxy across the line. Vanilla has the gap, 3.4 back to Rasha, maintaining that P2 finish. Sasuke, yellow flag. Looks like that lap might be no longer viable for fastest lap. Hopefully he didn't damage the tires. He'll try again. Only a few more laps left to go. Vanilla getting that gap now up to 3.7, but he can't sit on his hands. He needs to keep that gap going because Rasha is going to push as hard as he can to get that P2 away from Vanilla. So now we know Vanilla's a little bit safe. Let's go check to see what the fight is between Corey and Dynamic. Corey does get ahead of Dynamic. Truth with another warning for a corner cut. He's got to be careful. He's going to be getting another penalty. Zaluxy with a warning as well. Zaluxy coming through the final corner now. 17.7 ahead of Vanilla. She starts lap 27 of 29. Corey building a gap to Dynamic here. So let's take a look at what the gain loss is so far with a few laps left to go. Vanilla, our big mover, up 4 positions. Dynamic up 2, Truth up 2. Corey and the SJC breaking even so far, so is Zaluxy, our leader. Sasuke, our big loser for tonight, dropping down to 5 positions. Sasuke sets the fastest first sector, a 30.995. Sasuke with the fastest middle sector, 27.473. He is on a roll right now to steal that fastest lap from Vanilla and putting it into the pocket of the Mercedes team. Sasuke, your fastest lap, 1:22.921, gets the extra point for Mercedes. Two laps left to go. So let's head up. Even though Dynamics 0.2 back. Truth and Sasuke going head to head here as well. Sasuke pulling away. So across the line, Corey staying ahead of Dynamic, half a second. Dynamic's probably too far back to make a move happen down to turn 1. Heavy braking, but maintains P5. So great news for Vanilla in P2. Currently sitting 4.6 seconds ahead of Rasha. So that secures P2, even with those 6 seconds of penalties, because Rasha has 3 seconds. The gap that Vanilla needs to maintain was 3 seconds. It's now up to 5. Back to Rasha in P3. Zoluxi starting your final lap. Truth up to 12 seconds now. Corey on the hards is actually sitting at 53% on the fronts. Zoluxi putting her stamp of authority on the season so far and on this race in particular. Currently leading by 18.7 seconds. And ever building. Personal best of 31.458 for the first sector for Zoluxi. She might be trying to steal that fast lap back from her teammate, but she is on the hard tires. So it's unlikely she would, but this is Zoluxi we're talking about. 28.064 in the middle sector. Not her fastest. Corey gets another 3 seconds. He's up to 6 now. So Zoluxi around the final corner. Brings it across the line. Your winner of the Qatar Grand Prix, Zoluxi. Next up, through turn 15, we've got Vanilla sitting at 6 seconds of penalties, but only needs a gap of 3 seconds back to Rasha to maintain P2 around the final corner. Cross the line, Vanilla P2, Rasha bringing up P3. Next up, through the final corner, we got Yes JC with 6 seconds of penalties. Cross the line, P4, Dynamic, 8 seconds back. P5 with Corey, P6. Sasuke with an incident early on, about midway through. Falling back, switches to the soft tires to score an extra point for the Mercedes squad. Coming around the final corner now. And across the line, Sasuke P7 with the fastest lap. And your final running car, Truth, with 15 seconds of penalties across the line, P8. Your driver today, Vanilla, maintaining that P2, keeping that gap more than 3 seconds back. There's Zoluxi, your winner, as they stand on the podium. Get a screenshot of that real quick. Back to our intermission screen. Here is your classification for tonight. Zoluxi, your winner, 124.233 for her fastest lap, but it was not the fast lap of the session. That goes to Sasuke in P7, 122.921. So we got Zoluxi P1, Vanilla P2, Rasha P3, SJC in P4, Dynamic 5th. Corey 6th. Sasuke 7th with the fastest lap. Truth in P8. Hayden, unfortunately disconnected, so he will be not classified tonight. And Draco serving his race penalty, or his race ban penalty tonight, will be back with us next week. Speaking of next week, we are at Monza, the Temple of Speed. Should be an interesting one. So we look forward to seeing you guys all next Sunday at Monza. Again, this is Prowler Racing League Season 5, and we will see you next time in Italy.